Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've followed me for a while, then you know that I often speak about Neville Goddard and his work, his teachings on imagination, on states of consciousness, and the power of assumption. But today we're going to go beyond Neville Goddard. We're exploring how modern thought leaders are expanding on his foundational work and bringing new depth, new nuance, and practical application to the art of reality creation in today's world. And before we dive in, if you're on your own journey of manifestation, awakening, or spiritual transformation, then make sure to sign up for my newsletter below. You'll also get a free guided meditation if you sign up now. So let's start with the foundation. Neville Goddard taught that imagination creates reality, that your internal state, what you feel to be true, is what ultimately manifests in the external world. So he emphasized the power of assumption, living as though your desire is already fulfilled. And these ideas were maybe revolutionary in his time, and in some ways they still are. But the world has also changed, and technology, psychology, even spirituality have all evolved. And so has our understanding of how we create reality. What's really fascinating about this world of spirituality is that we're seeing a wave of modern teachers take Neville's work and the work of others and put their own spin on it and blend it with new insights from neuroscience, quantum physics, trauma healing, all sorts of, even AI now, but merging sort of the best of the old with the best of the new. So I want to mention a few people who I follow who I think are just doing incredible work, and you may find them interesting as well. So the first name I don't think will be a surprise to many of you in this reality creation and spirituality space, but that's Dr. Joe Dispenza. He focuses a lot on brainwave states, neuroplasticity, and emotional coherence, and he has some incredible resources, some incredible stuff on YouTube. And he talks as well about how elevated emotions and clear intention literally rewire your body and your brain and your energetic field to create a new reality. So this is right in line with a lot of the foundational work that I've talked about from Neville Goddard. Another person who I find very fascinating is Gregg Braden. And he blends a lot of ancient spiritual traditions with the latest in science. And he as well focuses on the heart-brain coherence, the energetic field of the human body, and how emotions, especially gratitude and compassion, can influence our reality. So I would say Dr. Joe Dispenza and then Gregg Braden have just done incredible work. And again, check them out on YouTube if you haven't already. There's some great content, great interviews with them, and they can do a much better job than myself of talking about their research and what they've done, but there's so much incredible knowledge and information out there thanks to them. So a third person I want to mention is Neuro-Knowledge. And I recently did a short video on his recent book, which is fantastic. And what I love about his style is that he merges the practical side with the theory. He explains the theory, and a lot of the stuff is a little out there, but he explains it in a very straightforward way. But at the same time, Nero gives very practical, real-world advice as to how you can apply it in your own life to change your reality. So again, check him out on YouTube, check out his latest book. I just did a video on it. But these are three voices who, in this sort of spirituality manifestation space, I just find fascinating and are doing really incredible work. And I see a lot of similarities and sort of ties between the foundational work of Neville Goddard and others and these three individuals. Another thing is when I compare the work of Neville Goddard, from years ago to, these three people I mentioned, but also other spiritual influencers and teachers, there are a couple of key differences that I've seen. And one is that I see a lot more discussion of nervous system regulation, getting into diet and meditation and exercise. There's a lot more discussion now than I think there was in Neville's day about, the nervous system and ways that we can just be more at peace internally and quiet things down. And that's why, especially Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden, they do a great job in talking about sort of like this nervous system aspect of things and how to just exist in a very calm place and to manifest from that, from that point. Because that's one cool thing about the more modern approach, I would say. I think in many ways it's a little more holistic. I think for his time, Neville Goddard was certainly revolutionary, but I think now we can take the best of Neville Goddard's work, combined with some of the latest science, and combine the two for something very powerful. Another difference that I've seen is there's often more of a focus on multidimensional models. A lot of these newer voices explore manifestation across different timelines, parallel realities, and quantum potential. And these are really fascinating aspects to spirituality and manifestation. And I think, again, the work of Neville Goddard sort of hinted at a lot of this, but I imagine that his work at the time was already so revolutionary that even if he was aware of these things, he probably didn't write as much about sort of the multidimensional and quantum stuff, just because even nowadays, it's a little bit out there for a lot of people. But I think modern interpretations of this spirituality and personal growth stuff, they sort of focus on seeing ourselves as conscious creators in this dynamic, shifting field of possibilities. Or another way to look at it is that the version of ourselves that we want, so the version of me who is wealthy and abundant and whatever, that version already exists in a different quantum reality. And so the process of manifestation in my life is me living in that state and eventually collapsing those timelines until my current timeline is one and the same with that one. So it gets into some of this really fascinating quantum stuff, multiple string theory, multiple realities. And that's another area where I see modern voices speaking to this stuff, probably much more than maybe some of the classic voices from the past. So the amazing thing is that there are so many incredible voices out there, so many modern creators, as well as I would consider classic creators like Neville Goddard and others. And we can, pick and choose from all of them. And I feel like Neville Goddard and others really laid the groundwork for so much of this and for all of us. And, he, for example, gave us these timeless inner truths about our inner world creating the outer world. But today, in some ways, in our modern society, we have new challenges, but we also have new tools. And the amazing thing is we don't have to choose between following these, older teachings or the more modern ones. They're all part of the same teachings. And the amazing thing is with all the resources we have, we can consciously choose to take the best of the old with the best of the new. So I just wanted to share this because maybe I'll do in the future some more deep dives on some other creators who I really think are doing amazing work. But I feel like sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. There are so many creators in the reality and manifestation space. So if that would be interesting to you, just leave a note in the comments below. Maybe some of your favorite creators or some of the themes you'd like me to explore further. So let me know in the comments below which modern perspective, has really helped you the most in your journey. I'd love to hear, your thoughts on that. And again, if you haven't already, sign up for my newsletter. Right now, you'll get a free guided meditation from yours truly. And I'd love to have you join our growing community. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.